Welcome to Stories and Songs by Afterglow Music. My name is Joel McCausland.
And I'm Kevin Peay, and we've been creating music for a long time.
We'd like to tell you the stories behind our songs. Hey, Kev, today we want to talk about a song that I wrote a long time ago, back in the 1980s. It was originally on our Another Witness album called From Father to Son.
And I love this song.
We all come to earth the same way, trailing glory as we come. And we're placed in the arms of those who will give us love and home. From the day of that first birthday till the day we go back home, we're a part of someone's family. We're not meant to be alone. From father to son.
You know, thinking about the time of year we're in right now with Father's Day and Mother's Day and opportunities to reflect on this. And yet this song, when I wrote it, even though the title is From Father to Son, it's really about parents. Going back to what Nephi said in the Book of Mormon about goodly parents. And you and I have both been blessed, really, by a legacy of goodly parents.
As I sat down at Mom and Daddy's grave, I guess I wasn't sitting, I was standing, but just the overall feeling of goodness that came to me as Cindy took the picture as it was on Memorial Day, and just how grateful I am for parents who loved me and who did the very best they could with what they knew from their generation to ours. And just a profound feeling of overwhelming gratitude for them just hanging in there with me.
Yeah, and you know what we got from our parents? I remember you talking about this a lot. Every night when your dad would come home, and if the weather cooperated, you guys go out and throw the baseball, have a catch.
He was consistent, specifically with that particular, because he knew how much I loved baseball. And he had an old mitt that was an old softball mitt, and he would sit on a bucket, and I would be at the south end of the front yard, and he would be on the driveway. I mean, there's just things you remember.
Know the details.
And he would the best I could do was make sure that he stayed on the bucket, because I did my very, very best to hit the spot.
Had to be dialed in.
So he didn't have to fall off the bucket to chase the ball.
Right.
So even that little scene of, you've seen tires on barns, and I used to, of course, throw the baseball through that tire at the back of the barn until one day I broke the wood, and he said, let's not do that anymore. So I said, okay, sit on the bucket. So that bucket thing became my strike zone, and his mitt became my receiver. And when my father specifically came home every night to do that with me during those young years, that instilled in me a great love for him. And it was a powerful thing. And of course, when I just talked about sitting there at the grave, those memories came flashing back.
Yeah.
And that gratitude is just profound. And Mom the same way. She didn't sit on the bucket, but she
didn't want to get hit by that fastball kid.
No, but she was there. She was there to support when she could at those games, and all things associated with my youth and all things associated with my life.
Yeah, you know, when I think of your parents, it's that consistency and stability. You just knew they were going to be there. And I just think that's such a great thing. My mom was that way. And you know, it's interesting, as I was reflecting on this today, this song has gained a little meaning for me because of the situation with my fathers in my life. So, you know, my dad was not really there when I was a little kid. He and my mom divorced when I was 3 or 4 maybe.
Yep.
And for a period of years, he was very intermittent, just occasionally would drop into my life, you know. And we didn't really have time or opportunity to develop any kind of relationship. And it wasn't until I was an adult that I got to know my dad a little better. But even even through that time, when I was, 11 or 12, my mom remarried. And I already had a dad, so this was Papa. This is my new stepdad. And you got to understand his situation. I've reflected on this a few times. We lost Papa a few years ago at the age of 80 after a life of really hard stuff.
Amazing.
Both for my
hard
mom
stuff.
and him.
Yeah.
But it started hard because when he married my mom, he was in his 30s. He'd never been married before. And my mom had 6 kids. And most of us were teenagers, which was just chaos, And so he'd never been a dad. Suddenly he's trying to be the dad and trying to figure out what that means. Some of my brothers and sisters were pretty good with him. I was not in that category. I was tough on him. I didn't want a new person in my life like that. And,
No, not you.
yeah, no, we had our moments. We had our days when it was pretty rough. And of course, this was well before I wrote this song. But as I was thinking again today about that whole history of my life, my dad, who he was, the kind of relationship I built with him over time, my papa, who I had no relationship with early on, and then by the time that he ended his life, when he was done at 80 years old, he had been in a wheelchair for almost 30 years with so many health problems. And not only was that a huge challenge for him, but my mom was his caretaker. Papa was 6'1", big man, and mom's about 5'5" and 120 nothing pounds, And for her to be the one who had to wrangle him around and take him everywhere, what I saw with them was not just the devotion they had to each other, but the lengths they would go to for their kids, even their kids who weren't treating them particularly well. And I think back on that, what Papa went through, the changes both of us went through. He and my mom had 3 more kids together, total of 9, which is crazy. And I look back at their legacy today, and man, it's just such a powerful thing. I remember after my mission, I might have been married by myself by then. We had a party at my Aunt Linda's house, family gathering. My grandparents were there from my dad's side of the family. And Papa was there, and my mom was there. And this was kind of unique and not that common because they weren't relatives in blood relatives kind of a sense of the word. And everybody that I loved really was gathered there on the lawn at Uncle Lynn and Aunt Linda's house. And I had the chance to sing this song for them. And man, I got a vision of the eternal nature of family on that day more than I've ever had. This song, the idea that from father to son, from mother to daughter, and crossing those lines as well, the things we get from our parents and the things we learn and become because of what they're willing to do for us, that sacrifice. And sometimes it's not received well. Sometimes it's not appreciated until later. That was certainly true for me. But the idea of what they give to us. I thought about your parents and my parents and even the unique kind of uncommon circumstances of my life at that time. And I was just completely overwhelmed with gratitude for that dynamic, what we all have an opportunity to be blessed by because we're part of a family here today and then eternally with our Heavenly Father.
Your mother has been my second mother. And it's been interesting to actually watch her through the years take care of Papa. And there have been moments when I've been invited into that portal of the house to witness her charitable giving to him and then his charitable receiving from her. And just to watch that very unique relationship between the two of them. And your mother, who is still with us, thankfully.
At 90, still plugging along, hanging in there.
Her charity moments are not just about Papa. Her charity moments are about everybody.
Yeah.
It's about her family. It's about everybody around her. And so when everybody starts talking about who's going to be ushering people where, your mother is one of those people that will be helping all of us get where we need to go, as she has helped your family in major ways, especially Papa. So I have a great love for your mom and dad. They are very special to me. your father, natural father as well. I have a love
Yeah.
for him. I remember going to Cody, Wyoming. That was the first time I'd ever met him when we went and did a fireside at Cody,
Do
Wyoming.
you remember was that the balcony or was that inside? I can't remember. They put us up on this side thing in the church.
Yeah, all I remember is I'd got my wisdom teeth out when we were on our way up there, and I was just as sick as a dog to provide this. But that Cody experience, meeting your father at that point in time, was very special to me because I'd never understood the man.
Yeah.
And I got to see him as your dad, your natural dad, and then I've been able to witness Papa in your life, and it's been a beautiful thing, as there are so many principles that people live celestially on this earth. And the love that grows as families come together and as we work through things, your mother has been a wonderful example of how to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. You think back on it, and even when we think of our childhood as kind of idyllic and perfect, none of it's really perfect. And we certainly had a lot of upheaval and things that we were dealing with, but I really was blessed. And so were you, with people in our lives that just loved us as perfectly as they could. And that's a message for this song, whether it's Father's Day or Mother's Day or whenever, the idea that we can reflect and really feel the gratitude, just feel what they did for us, the sacrifices they made. That's a powerful part of what living on this world is all about for me.
And the extension of that goes to in-laws as well. It's it's sometimes we don't get to really choose our in-laws, but we choose our companion.
Right.
And but that whole extension from father to son and from mother to daughter is powerful as well. I'm grateful for Cindy's parents who embraced me through that whole process of learning how to be a dad and all of those things, and the love that they gave as well. So I have a great respect for in-laws as well.
We got a call today, actually, from Diana's mom. There was a wedding in the family over the weekend, and Diana's mom's 88. She's struggles a little bit with hearing and eyesight at this time, and she told Diana that she wouldn't have made it to that wedding. It wouldn't have been the experience that it was for her without what Diana was willing to do for her. And every time I see her, she gives me a big hug and tells me how much she loves me. I know she loves me mostly when I'm being good to Diana. That's where it comes from. She loves Diana so much that when I can express any of that to her, then that wins me lots of points with Grandma J. It's a pretty good thing.
Good point to listen.
Yeah, let's take a listen to the whole song.
We all come to earth the same way, trailing glory as we come, and we're placed in the arms of those who will give us love and home. From the day of that first birthday till the day we go back home, we're a part of someone's family. We're not meant to be alone. From father to son, from mother to daughter, we can teach them of the one who said he'd bring us living water. But words that we say don't shine near as bright as what we've done. It's reflected in the hearts and in the eyes of our daughters and sons. The way at times is troubled, and sometimes we fail to see in the eyes of every other a son or daughter just like me. But we'll come to understand them if we look with eyes of love. We can bless them, we can lead them to our Father's home above. From father to son, from mother to daughter, can teach them of the one who said he'd bring us living water, but words that we say don't shine near as bright as what we've done. It's reflected in the hearts and in the eyes. From father to son, from mother to daughter, we can teach them of the one who will bring us living water. And when he has come, we'll shine in his eyes with what we've done. We're reflected in the hearts and in the eyes of our daughters and sons.